Hi there. Can you guys tell me if it is working? Again, it is my first time here. I guess I have some kind of delay from the OBS studio. Can you guys tell me if it is working? Again, it is my and I need to mute, of course, my audio. Sorry for that. I'm trying to learn this, so it will be very experimental, okay, guys? But just let me know if you guys can hear me and if it is okay to hear my audio. Just drop a comment in the chat so I can be sure that you guys can see it now. I think so. I think Gonzalo is there. Like Gonzalo, can you just type it is working so I can know that everything is working properly? Great. Thank you, Brad. I experiment this very long delay, but yeah, let's let's run it. Okay. So what I will try to present you today, it is how you can use this React custom shader material and specifically this predator clock that I created so you can create your own materials. And I plan to show you also the difference between the default shader material from React Tree Fiber and this one. This might not be all clear to everybody, the difference between them. So I will do a presentation here about that. So let's take a look, for example, in this example from React Tree Fiber examples. They are creating this transition between two different textures using custom shader. And what I've done, I created a very basic shader material here so we can see the difference. Okay, so this one is using my predator clock material. As you guys can see, when we hover, we get that effect. And it is also glass. So you have this appearance of a texture. And when you hover, you have basically the glass behind it. So what I will do, and just for you guys to understand what I've done, I just copied everything that is here in this example, and let me show you how you can fiber. Let me show you how you can find this example that I'm using so you can have a reference. So just go to the examples. I guess it is all the way down, and then you have this here, shader material. This is the example that I'm using here. So we are seeing this example running. And what I've done, I just copied everything like this creation of the material, then the imports, and then I'm adding it to the mesh. I will be doing this on our model here. So again, I will comment out my predator clock material. And now we are using the image material, like the one that is being created here. And all that is doing, it is basically dropping a red color in the entire mesh. So let's see it working. I will save this. And now we have our beautiful, and not so beautiful, but our beautiful red shader. And as you can see, everything, every property is lost. So now we don't have a metalness anymore. We don't have the glass looking like material, but we can code shaders inside of this. So let's do it. I left it open here like a shader from shadertoy, a random one. I'm not trying to be specific at this point. I would just want to share you how you can transfer a shadertoy inside a custom shader material. So let's do it together. First, I will copy all the functions for this shader. And then this is always fragment shader, okay? So usually those are always fragment shaders. As you can see here, they have this main image, and then they have those functions outside the main image. And the same happens here. So this is the fragment shader. This is our main function. And then what I will do, I will paste all of those functions here. Let me just organize it a little bit better. Yeah, so those functions, let's save. Nothing has changed and we are not using those functions anyway. And now what I will do, like I will copy those lines here inside the fragment shader, except for the frag color. So this frag color parameter, it is different inside React 3 Fiber and Three.js. The name is different, but the properties are the same. So I will copy all of this here and I will paste inside our main function, and you will see what happen very soon. So we will save and then we will refresh and we will see a lot of errors. And those errors are important for you to understand what is happening. So everything is gone now. And if we go like inside the shader, we can see a lot of errors. To begin, frag color, like frag chord doesn't exist. It is an undeclared like identifier. And yeah, because it is different, but I'm using the varying VUV. So VUV, it is transferring between the vertex shader and the fragment shader, a shader coordinate, basically a mesh UV system. So I will be using that instead of the frag chord. So I will replace everything here by VUV. So now I have like the coordinates. And let's save and let's do a refresh. We will see something will change here, and I will go like slowly. Now we have a problem with time. So let's check. Time, it is a default property for shadertoy. So as you can see here, it is shader playback time in seconds. So in React 3 Fiber and in Three.js, you need to create this uniform. You can change the name. I'm creating it here. So I'm defining the first thing you defined when you create a shader material for React 3 Fiber is the uniforms. So I'm creating the uniform here, and then I need to use this uniform internally, like in this shader, so it doesn't exist. So I will create the uniform here. I will do vec uniform, I think it is this way, form vec2 time. And let's save, let's refresh. Let's see what happens now. Sometimes I mess the order. Yeah, it is not complaining about time anymore. Now it is complaining about the SS function. So let's take a look. Probably I forgot about it. Yeah, I need to define this SS function. So it is not defined because I forgot to copy a part of the shader. So let's do it. Always in the beginning. So I will define it here, save, and let's refresh, and hopefully it will work this time. So let's see. Oh yeah, so now we got like a lot of errors. Let's see it together. It was supposed to be working. Let me uncomment this use frame so I can see. Probably I messed something. And it was working before when I tested it, but now it is not. So let me move the define to the beginning. This might be something. Yeah, I told you, like this is very experimental. I don't know why it is complaining about the uniforms, like because I've tried this before and it was working. So let me uniform to see if I did not mess anything. Time, and yeah, everything should be running. Let me comment out this time thing and refresh. So yeah, it will keep complaining about time because it is being used here. And like if someone can spot why the eye time it is not working. It should be working because this is what I do all the time. Let me do a refresh again to see if it works this time. Yeah, no. Oh God, why not? Uh, it should be working. I will place any number here so just we can have something. Oh, the problem I noticed. And that's why it is important to have these errors like in a live session. Like we are passing the uniform vec2 I time. And it is not a vec2, it is a float number. So we just need to type the correct type for the variable. And like GLSL is very picky about those kind of things. So you need to be like very specific. So now we have it back running. Nothing has changed because we are not using the proper value from the shader, but we get no errors. So it is working. So I will output then now, instead of the vec2 color red that I was using, I will output the vec3 color here. Let's save. Let's do a refresh, and hopefully we will get our shader from shadertoy running inside. Oh, thank you very much, someone. Yeah, Evan, thank you very much. You spotted it before, but we have this delay on the transmission. So, but thank you for your help. So now we have the shader running. As we have, of course, the coordinates are not the same. So to fix the coordinates, we need to play with the P value here, which is our UVs. I will not do that because I just want to show you that now we have the shader running, but we don't have any metawness, any transmission. Like it is a pure shader, and it is possible to bring back all those properties, but then you need to insert the shader chunks from default Threejs inside this shader. And that will be a mess because it gets very long, very complicated. Another method that I use uh, is to play with the on before compile, and that is also a possibility. So you can find parts of the shader that you want to replace. This is something that Bruno Simon teaches about in his course, which is also great, but can be challenging for someone that is starting. That's where the Faras custom shader material becomes handy, because this thing enables you to keep all the properties from the default shader, and then you can extend it, like change its properties from the internal Threejs material system, and that is amazing. So what we will do now, we will bring back the I will just remove, and by the way, something that I forgot to mention, this is the way you update the iTime property inside React 3 Fiber. That's why the shader is automatically animating. By default, if you don't put the use frame and this function here, we will get the shader, but you get this static. Let me show you. So you do this, and your shader, like, let me remove mine. So now we have the shader, but it is completely like frozen. So to keep it running, you need to have this function here. But I will bring back my predator clock material. And now what I want to keep the properties from the class material, but I want to use that shader. And I will modify my predator clock to be something else. So let's take a look. For the predator material, it is creating a new predator material. Basically, we are returning the fragment in a use memo. So when we refresh, we don't create multiple instances of the same thing. We are also creating a new base material here. We should also return this as a use memo, as far as mentioned to me. I'm not using this here, but you can totally do it. And then we have the same use frame here, updating the U time in this example, not I time. It is U time, the name is different. And then what this function is doing basically is returning a material. And that's why we can use it here on our shoe as a like default material. And it was a default material. And then I'm importing two things, the vertex shader and the fragment shader. So the vertex shader is basically just passing the UVs as a vary like VUVs, and in our fragment shader is where like the magic happens. Everything is running here. So what I will do, because we already have the previous one working, I will copy the same functions that I copied from that one. So the define, the varying, let me just be sure that the varying is not duplicated. I think, I don't think so. So, yeah, it is. So as you can see, we have twice the VUV because I already have the VUV on my clock, predator clock material. So I'll remove this one. Let's say nothing has changed, like it is working. Let's keep copying things over. So now we need to define, to also copy the get color function from the shader toy. Yeah, and it is way more organized as you can see, because now you can have the functions and everything aligned as a separated file, much better to use than the on before compile method, which is kind of messy. And like finally, we can create all of those functions inside our shader. I will keep all of them the same. I will copy this, then in vertex in fragment shader, I will remove the things that I was using before. So I will remove everything. Probably it will break. No, nothing has break, but nothing has changed. Like, so I will paste everything here just to organize the lines. Yeah, all is there, but we are not using anything because after we create the shader internally, we need to choose a parameter to change for that material. So instead of doing the on before compile and replacing stuff, this thing is doing it for you. So you can use, for example, the CSM diffuse color, and this is the one that I will be using. It is a vec4, so I will do it here, and I will say the diffuse color will be equals to final texture. And yeah, we already have it. As you can see, everything works, but the problem is this variable here. So we are using U time and I time at the same time, and we don't need it. So I am already updating the U time that I had. So I will just replace the I time by U time. And then you have it. Now we have the shader that is running on a glass material. It is awesome. Like, and the possibilities are endless. So let's see the other parameters that you can choose using this technique. So for example, you can change the metalness. Let's see how it looks like. So a metalness is a float. So we need to choose from the texture one channel because it is 4 channels. It is using a vec4. So I will do everything that is red. So now we are using the same material. It is glassy like, but I'm changing only the roughness, the metalness of the material. And I can do the same, for example, for the other property. Let's experiment with the roughness. It is also a float value. So now I will use, for example, the green channel. So everything that is green, it is on our shader will be used as roughness. And yeah, it is great. And if you want to change, for example, its color, all that you have to do is to change the default material properties. And I created this kind of bridge between the properties from the original material and the custom shader. So you can go to your shader and then you can pass the color here directly inside that material. So if I want this to be green, now it is green. It is metallic and plastic-like, and it is using the custom shader to change properties inside that thing. So instead of having this kind of result, which is totally flat with no like differences, no shading, basically no light, now you can have the same thing, but you can change, just commenting out the use frame. If it doesn't find the ref, it get a lot of errors. So yeah, let me put it back on gray. So we can see the iridescence, which is also a parameter. You can change the amount of iridescence you want for that predator clock material. And with this, we created like another material basically. So you can rename this for something else. And then you created another kind of material using Three.js. You are extending Three.js materials. And of course, you can combine them. So if I want to use the diffuse color and all of that stuff we were using before, you just go in the fragment shader, and then you say like CSM is equal final texture. Because it is a vector, it is okay. So now the color got like this mist, and everything is glossy glass, and using the custom shader on specific parts for roughness, for metalness. So that is amazing. So I hope you guys like it. Like it was meant to be very quick because this is my first section again. So I'm trying to do it more often, and let's see how it goes. But let me know in the comments you have something that you are struggling with, so I can prepare another section, very quick section like this, so I can try to transfer my knowledge to you guys. So I hope you find this useful, and thank you very much, and see you soon, guys. Bye bye, and thanks for the shout out in the comments. Thank you. Bye bye.